Something just detonated in the celebrity universe, and this time, it's not Diddy trending for another suspicious party, or TD Jakes going viral for a sermon clip. No, no, no. This is way darker, way crazier, and so twisted it makes the Kardashians' entire 20 season catalog look like bedtime stories. Because Katt Williams, the man who treats icy stato, like, look at this. And we all know I've been exploring with co-scene. And we all know I've been exploring that. And we all know I've been exploring. And we stows out with statos. With statalog, look like with statalog love. .cob, catalog. I can see staff stackwe. I'll see catalog with codad my corwickley I have. To see you see with conqueed we you are at we side with sika kakunkli kai de kake could see with see you I we la I we we with you to see to can you to with kai ki I took you from where I took I with gag what I kick to basic Hollywood secrets like expired milk he can't wait to throw out has officially targeted both Diddy and TD Jakes in one of the most jaw-dropping exposes of the year. And the way he said it, my God, it wasn't subtle. It wasn't careful. It wasn't respectful. It was the verbal equivalent of throwing a Molotov cocktail into a megachurch lobby. According to Katt, what went down behind closed doors wasn't just messy. It was ritual-level disturbing. We're talking ceremonies, secret gatherings, the kind of late-night events that sound like they were produced by Netflix's horror department. And the plot twist, TD Jakes wasn't just nearby. Katt claims he was involved, present. Part of the equation, the internet froze. Church folks clutched their pearls. Even Hollywood couldn't keep quiet. This isn't drama. This isn't gossip. This is a leak so insane, so spine-twisting, so outrageous. You won't blink for the next hour. Welcome to the darkness. Let's dive in. From the moment Katt Williams opened his mouth, you could feel Hollywood tighten up, like someone flipped off all the lights during a storm and whispered, "Did you hear that?" Because Katt didn't stroll into this one casually. He didn't sip tea. He didn't hint or suggest. He detonated. Loud, unfiltered, reckless. The man walked into the metaphorical living room of entertainment and dropped a statement so wild the Wi-Fi practically glitched. He claimed very boldly, very publicly, and with that signature Katt Williams, I've seen too much stare. That TD Jakes. Yes, Pastor TD Jakes wasn't just aware of Diddy's strange late-night ceremonies, but may have been closer to them than anyone imagined. Now understand this. Katt Williams exposes things the way toddlers spill juice everywhere, unapologetically and with maximum mess. And the internet. It didn't just listen. It erupted, because Katt wasn't talking about normal Hollywood parties. He wasn't talking about the usual champagne and velvetrope nonsense. No. He described ritual-like gatherings, the kind that sound like they were, storyboarded by the writers of American Horror Story. Late-night meetings, exclusive rooms, symbolism, secrecy, and vibes so uncomfortable you could feel the awkwardness through the screen, and the twist that made everyone's jaw hit the floor. His claim that TD Jakes, the man who commands stadiums with sermons, was present at some of these events. Now, before the internet lawyers start sprinting in, Katt didn't present evidence. He didn't show footage. He didn't bring screenshots. He did what he always does. He dropped his truth like a lightning bolt and walked off. But that didn't matter, because the moment his words hit the timeline, they spread like wildfire in a field of dry grass. Church folks went into DEFCON 1. Fans clutched their Bibles like they just walked into a horror movie. Diddy's name trended again, but this time with a side of what did Katt just say? And TD Jakes. He started trending so fast you'd think he'd just released a rap album. People were shocked, confused, scandalized. Some called Katt brave. Some called him crazy. Some called him the whistleblower of chaos. But everybody kept listening, because when Katt Williams tells a story, He tells it like he's been holding it in for a decade and finally found a camera willing to catch all the smoke. And this time, his tone had that strange mixture of warning, exhaustion, and I'm tired of y'all pretending you don't know what's going on. He spoke about Hollywood circles that blend fame with secrecy. He mentioned symbolism that didn't belong at a normal celebrity meetup. He talked about Diddy's infamous parties whispered about for years, with a level of disgust that made listeners shift in their seats. And he described TD Jake's alleged presence with sharp, deliberate emphasis, the kind of emphasis that made the internet stop breathing. Katt's audience didn't even blink. They leaned in, because this was new. This was bold. This was the kind of claim that shakes algorithms. And instantly, people started resurfacing old photos, old interviews, old coincidences. People began connecting dots that probably weren't even supposed to be connected. Twitter detectives put on their imaginary trench coats. TikTok editors made dramatic breakdown videos with spooky music. YouTube commentators uploaded 12-minute monologues titled things like TD Jakes and Diddy. Katt Williams says it's darker than we think. Memes popped up instantly. TD Jakes photoshopped standing next to Diddy with captions like, "When you said prayer circle, this is not what we meant." Another meme showed Katt Williams with glowing red eyes saying, "I've been trying to warn y'all," to his pandemonium. But here's where it got even crazier, because Katt didn't stop there. He talked like a man who had kept receipts in his internal mental filing cabinet for years. He mentioned how Hollywood's elite circles blur lines between spiritual, social, and walls. And something else, something unsettling. He reminded people how fame often comes with strings. Strings tied to rooms not everyone gets to see. Rooms where normal rules don't apply. Rooms that Diddy's name has floated around for longer than anyone likes to admit. And the moment Katt placed TD Jake's name anywhere near that energy, people lost control. Pastors started posting reaction videos in full suits like it was Sunday morning. Church aunties went outside with folding chairs holding emergency prayer sessions. The gospel community acted like someone set off an alarm inside the sanctuary. Meanwhile, Hollywood insiders began subtly distancing themselves. Nobody said anything directly, nobody ever does. But you could feel the energy shift. Publicists worked overtime. Celebrities pretended to be offline. And fans kept refreshing their feeds like the next revelation. It's about to drop any second. But let's talk about Diddy for a second. Because his name being attached to bizarre, elite parties isn't exactly new. People have whispered about those events for over a decade. Whispers about secrecy, exclusivity, and experiences that regular partygoers would never understand. But adding TD Jakes into the rumor? That was unheard of, unthinkable, unpredictable. It pushed the story from Hollywood scandal to spiritual earthquake. The idea of a megachurch titan being linked even loosely, even hypothetically, to the chaotic energy around? Diddy's late-night gatherings sent shockwaves into every community on the internet, and Katt loved every second of it. Not because he enjoys destroying people, but because he enjoys pulling back curtains that others pretend aren't there. His delivery was sharp. His tone was surgical. His confidence was unnerving. He spoke like a man convinced he knew exactly what he'd seen or heard. And when someone speaks with that level of conviction, the internet doesn't care whether the claims are proven or not. They care about the impact, the energy, the wildness, the scandal, and this scandal. It wasn't just big. It was nuclear dot. But the fallout, the reactions, the celebrity responses, the memes, the chaos that came right after, that's the part the world wasn't prepared for. And trust me, it only gets wilder from here. The moment Katt Williams' claims hit the algorithm, the internet reacted like someone unplugged reality and plugged in a whole new dimension of madness. It wasn't a ripple, it was a tsunami, an earthquake, a digital detonation so massive even TikTokers, who normally only dance, suddenly turned into investigative journalists overnight. The memes arrived within seconds. You know how fast the internet flips? Someone took a photo of TD Jakes praying and photoshopped Diddy popping up behind him, whispering, "Come to the ceremony tonight." Another meme showed Katt Williams holding a flashlight like a ghost hunter, saying, "This is where they held the rituals, the creativity, unhinged, the disrespect, Olympic level, the virality, nuclear. And then, as expected, celebrity reactions started rolling in, the messy kind, the cryptic kind. Though I'm not saying anything, but I'm definitely saying something kind. One rapper tweeted 3 side-eye emojis. Another posted, "Hollywood ain't what y'all think." Famous singer wrote, "Katt been telling the truth for years." That tweet alone turned the internet into a digital stampede. People were making theories, charts, timelines, and PowerPoints like this was a college course called Scandals 101, exposing the elite. And then the wildest twist dropped. Fans started digging through archives like they were FBI interns. They looked up old footage of Diddy and TD Jakes attending the same events, posing in the same photos, appearing in the same circles. Suddenly, every handshake, every hug, every smile was being analyzed like security camera evidence. People were zooming in, slowing down videos. Enhancing shadows like this was CSI. Hip Hop Edition. Then someone stitched a video showing Diddy at a late-night party, followed by TD Jakes walking into a different building the same night, and the caption read, "Coincidence? Or is Katt cooking?" The comment section exploded like a popcorn machine left on high, but the real escalation came from the TikTok. Conspiracy creators, the kings and queens of dramatic voiceovers, spooky background music, and oversized captions like "Watch before it's deleted." They started posting deep dive videos breaking down Katt's claims, bringing up old rumors, resurfacing forgotten interviews, and connecting dots that probably weren't even supposed to be connected. Suddenly, screenshots appeared alleging secret gatherings, private flight logs, celebrity retreats, and exclusive circles. That sounded like the plot of a supernatural thriller. Even people who didn't believe Katt started watching the breakdowns, just because the storyline was too juicy to ignore. And every hour, another twist dropped. Someone made a side-by-side comparison of a sermon TD Jakes once gave about darkness in high places, alongside Diddy partying in a hallway filled with fog machines. The caption said, "Was he warning us? Or was he there?" The internet went feral. But then things really escalated because church folks jumped in. Full sermons started popping up where pastors referenced wolves among shepherds, fallen giants, and the dangers of fame. Nobody said any names, but everyone already knew what the subtext was about. Meanwhile, Katt Williams was sitting somewhere watching the world burn like a man who had been waiting years for this reaction. And guess who couldn't stay silent anymore? Gossip bloggers, shade room, spin-offs, YouTube commentators who thrive on chaos. They all joined the battlefield with thumbnails of blown-up faces, red arrows, circles around TD Jakes' hand gestures, and titles like "TD Jakes and Diddy caught in same hotel. Katt Williams tried to warn us." The videos raked in millions of views. People weren't just watching, they were invested. They were hooked. Like a Netflix series that dropped all episodes at once. Then someone claimed a former insider confirmed that elite Hollywood gatherings often involved figures from different industries, entertainment, business, spiritual leadership, all blending together behind closed doors. Was it true? Who knows? Did the internet care? Absolutely not. It fed the fire like gasoline. Celebrities who were friends with TD Jakes suddenly went quiet. People who once partied with Diddy suddenly disabled their comments. A-list names who always spoke up suddenly stayed offline like they were hiding under a couch. And that silence, that made everything worse. Because silence is suspicious. Silence is shady. Silence is the perfect fuel for conspiracies. Then the next twist arrived. Someone resurfaced an interview where TD Jakes talked about having influence in high circles and being invited to places most pastors would never see. That clip went viral again. People paired it with Katt's claims and added captions like So this is what he meant. And the biggest explosion happened when a fan posted a clip of Diddy saying, "I bring different worlds together. I mix energies." That clip alone created a 48-hour meme festival. People looped it with dramatic music, slow zooms, and horror sound effects. One edit had TD Jakes glowing in red with the caption, "Mixed energies where?" Exactly. At this point, the internet didn't know what to believe. It just didn't want the drama to stop. The conversation grew darker, deeper, more intense. People debated morality, spirituality, fame, corruption, ego, and power. It was like someone turned Twitter into a supernatural courtroom. But the biggest shock wasn't the memes, or the celebrity reactions, or the conspiracy theories. It was the speed at which Katt's claims grew roots. Not because he proved anything, but because people wanted to believe him. Because it fits a strange puzzle Hollywood has always presented: a place where fame meets secrecy, where wealth meets weirdness, where people disappear into circles ordinary folks never witness. The energy shifted from "this is wild" to "what if?" And that question alone ignited a whole new wave of chaos. But the true fallout, the consequences, the tension, the reputational damage that didn't show up until later. And when it did, it shook the internet all over again. That's where the next chapter picks up. When the smoke should have cleared. When the internet should have calmed down. When people should have said, "All right, y'all, let's be serious for a second." Something completely different happened. The chaos didn't fade, it multiplied. It grew fangs. It evolved into a monster bigger than Katt Williams, bigger than Diddy, bigger than TD Jakes, bigger than anything Hollywood has seen since the last time the Illuminati trended for 48 hours straight. This wasn't just a scandal anymore. It became a cultural tremor, because the moment Katt's claims began circulating globally, real-life consequences began slithering out of the shadows. Quiet consequences. Subtle consequences. The kind of fallout that doesn't roar, it whispers. And whispers are always more dangerous. Suddenly, TD Jakes' name wasn't just attached to Bible verses or conferences. No, now it was floating beside words like ritual, ceremony, elite gatherings, and Hollywood darkness. None of these accusations were proven, but in the era of viral drama, allegations and memes spread faster than facts. And they stick harder too. The first ripple effect. A strange, uncomfortable silence washed over the church world. Pastors stopped reposting TD Jakes clips. Gospel influencers switched their content to positive vibes only. Christian TikTok creators made videos saying vague things like, "We have to pray for discernment in these times," while never mentioning names, but everyone knew exactly what they were hinting at. Meanwhile, Diddy, already drowning in 1,000 controversies, suddenly had an entirely new wave of speculation washing over him. People went into conspiracy overdrive. Old photos resurfaced. Strange quotes resurfaced. Questionable jokes resurfaced. Suddenly, fans were connecting puzzle pieces that didn't even belong to the same puzzle. And in the middle of this hurricane, Katt Williams stood untouched, untouchable, unbothered, almost smug. He didn't retract. He didn't clarify. He didn't soften anything, because Katt is the type of man who throws a grenade, walks away, and lets the crowd decide whether it was a firecracker or a bomb. But the aftermath hit TD Jakes the hardest, not because anything was confirmed, but because public perception is louder than evidence. When people start seeing you differently, they don't unsee it. His followers started questioning everything. Why was he connected to Diddy at all? What kind of rooms was he entering? Is Hollywood influencing the church? Or is the church influencing Hollywood? Questions turned to threads. Threads turned to think pieces. Think pieces turned to heated debates on live streams with thousands watching. People who never cared about celebrity gossip were suddenly acting like investigative analysts for a crime show. Church folks were flipping between prayer mode and tea mode like spiritual detectives on overtime. And then came the celebrity unfollows, the most passive-aggressive form of nuclear war in Hollywood. Fans noticed. Screenshots circulated. Speculation exploded. Every move became suspicious. TD Jakes posted an inspirational message. People replied with ritual jokes. He posted a sermon clip. Someone commented, "Which ceremony was this one from?" He posted a Bible verse. People turned it into a meme. Reputational damage via meme culture is the scariest weapon of the internet. Once people start roasting you in 4K HD with perfect comedic timing, it's over. You can't fight a meme. You can't defend against humor. You can't sermon your way out of Photoshop. Simultaneously, Diddy's silence fueled the fire even more. He didn't address anything, which made everyone assume everything. The absence of denial became the gasoline poured over Katt Williams' claims. And the public. They were loving it. This wasn't entertainment anymore. This was a gladiator arena made of allegations, theories, and TikTok edits. Reaction channels reported numbers they hadn't seen in years. Blogs posted up to 10 updates per hour. Conspiracy accounts got flooded with new followers. It was a scandal economy, thriving, booming, unstoppable. But the darkest consequence wasn't the memes or the silence. It was the division. Because now two enormous communities were clashing. The church world versus the entertainment world. The faithful versus the conspiratorial. The spiritual versus the sensational. Everyone picked a side and everyone believed their side was right. Some believed Katt was exposing a truth too dark to ignore. Others believed he was stirring chaos for entertainment. Some believed Diddy's circles have always been strange. Others believed TD Jakes was being dragged unfairly. No one agreed. No one backed down. No one sat quietly. This wasn't drama anymore. This was a digital civil war. And the more the story spread, the more people realized this saga wasn't ending. It was mutating, growing teeth, digging deeper. Because when Katt Williams opens a vault of alleged secrets, it's never a one-and-done situation. It's the pilot episode of a scandal series. The season premiere of Madness TV. The first chapter in a story that refuses to shut up, and the scariest part, nobody knows what else Katt Williams is holding. Nobody knows who he'll call out next. Nobody knows which Hollywood name will suddenly trend at 3 a.m. because Katt dropped another bomb. The entertainment world is bracing. The church world is rattled. Hollywood is hiding. And social media, it's salivating, waiting for the next revelation like it's the season finale of a show too wild to cancel. Because after this, after Katt tied TD Jakes' name to Diddy's darkest whispers, after the internet tore its own walls down trying to piece together the conspiracy, after memes turned into narratives, and narratives turned into cultural tremors, one thing is clear: the story is not over. It's just beginning, and the next chapter might be even darker than this one. Stay close. Stay ready. Because the shadows are getting louder, and the next twist could drop at an eye moment. Louder. And the next twist could drop at an eye moment. If you made it to the end of this twisted roller coaster, congratulations. You officially survived one of the wildest exposes the internet has ever coughed up. Honestly, you deserve a trophy, a snack, and maybe a quick prayer after everything Katt Williams just dragged us through. Because this wasn't a video. This was spiritual warfare meets Hollywood madness, wrapped in conspiracy seasoning and served fresh with a side of, "What did I just hear?" But before you vanish into the comments like a digital ninja, do me a solid. Smash that like button like Diddy smashing the lights before one of those alleged ceremonies. Hit it with passion. Hit it with vengeance. Hit it like the algorithm owes you money and you're here to collect, then drop a comment and tell me where you stand in this chaos. Are you Team Katt, who believes Hollywood hides darker things than Disney vaults? Team TD Jakes would never. Team Diddy's house party's been suspicious since the dial-up era. Or team, I don't know what's happening, but I refuse to miss a single episode. Type it all. I read everything like a nosy auntie with binoculars. And listen, if you think this was the limit, you clearly don't know this channel. We serve scandals hotter than coffee spilled on a white carpet. We break down celebrity chaos like it's finals week. We drop commentary so wild your favorite YouTuber takes notes. So subscribe and hit that notification bell like it's your last chance to escape Diddy's mansion at 4 a.m. Because around here, drama doesn't sleep. Secrets don't rest. And scandals. They show up on schedule like rent day. Stay locked in, stay messy, stay entertained. This is Expose Express, where the truth comes dripping in scandal. Every single day.